I am a CMA award winner today, but my life was not always like this. Before the fame, there was pain, addiction, and mistakes that almost destroyed me. My name is Roll. This is my story. I grew up on the edge of Nashville, but it wasn't the fancy, shiny place they show on TV. It was Antioch, trailer parks, pawn shops, and prayers that never seemed to reach anywhere. My mom was fighting addiction and depression. Like a lot of people where I come from, honestly, music was the only thing that seemed to pull her out of it. I'll talk about that later. My dad was hustling to keep the lights on in a wholesale meat business, and of course, running a little side business as a bookie. And me? I was figuring out how to survive with nothing but broken promises and bad examples. Hey mom, I'm going out. Need anything from the store?
Okay.
That was pretty much what talking to my mom was like. Sometimes she meant yes, sometimes she didn't, with the drugs. I don't think she even knew what she was agreeing to half the time. Her being like that left me plenty of space to get into my own extracurricular activities, if you know what I mean. I was 13 years old when I got arrested for the first time. The first of more than 40. It would be easy to stop the story there. A kid, a broken system, one more lost soul caught in a revolving door. But if you really want to know how that kid became a Grammy-nominated artist, how I found music and how music found me, you have to understand what life was like at home. When I was 10, just 3 years before that first arrest, I already knew I wanted to make music. I remember the exact moment. My dad buddy was deep into drinking back then. Funny enough, he became my best friend later on, but that's a story for later. Back then I was wild, rebellious. We couldn't even talk without it turning into a fight. My mom, Donna, she was fighting her own battles. Depression, addiction. For almost 20 years, I don't think I ever saw her out of her nightgown. She lived in a room with the curtains closed, blocking the world out. But every now and then when the clouds would break, she'd drift into the kitchen. All her friends would come over and suddenly that kitchen became a concert hall. She didn't just play music. She told stories about the songs, made them feel like legends.
This song always makes me think of him. The melody is so beautiful, but the words just break your heart.
By the time she hit play, we'd be sitting there, goosebumps all over. And when the song ended, we clapped like we were front row at the Opry. It was in those moments I realized music was more than sound. It was medicine. It pulled her out of the darkest places and lit up the whole house. I was 10 years old, sitting there in that kitchen, and I knew right then I wanted to make music. I wanted to save people like that. But life had other plans. My parents divorced when I was 13, and it's no coincidence that's when everything started falling apart. I felt like I had to take care of my mom. We needed money, and I was going to get it any way I could. The streets were waiting. And oh, did they swallow me up?
On the charge of drug possession, I hereby sentence you to a term of 3 years in state prison.
That was good in my life, but it was drowned in all the bad. I hate saying I was just a product of my environment. It feels like an excuse, like it takes away free will. But the truth is, at this point, I was just a kid about to get arrested, and within 2 years, still just a kid, I did some of the worst things I've ever done, things I still can't make peace with. That little demon still visits me. Furry, ugly, always there. Most mornings, he's the first thing I see, and I have to talk him down just to breathe. So I ended up in prison. I was 13 the first time they put handcuffs on me, just a kid, but already deep enough in the streets that the law knew my name. I wish I could tell you prison scared me straight, that I learned my lesson, but that would be a lie. The truth is, once you get in the system, It's like a revolving door. You get out, and there's nothing waiting for you but the same corners, the same people, the same bad choices, and pretty soon you're back inside. I've said it on podcasts too. I went in with a bachelor in marijuana and came out with a doctorate in cocaine. Honestly, and this isn't an excuse, I couldn't have changed even if I wanted to. Nobody teaches you how to get out. They just teach you how to survive inside. It wasn't until I was 25 in adult prison that I even got my GED. But before that, something haunted me. I got my worst charge at 15. Still just a kid, but that's no excuse. I can't shake it from my soul. Where is it? Where is it? I think about that night a lot. What I'd say to that man if I saw him today. How I tell him I wasn't just taking money. I was taking his peace, his safety. And not about me, of course, but it's like carrying a demon, a little, small, hairy demon I imagine living inside me. He's always there, watching. Back then I ignored him, but now, oh man, I see him all the time. A mental health demon. It acts like what happened means I'll probably never fully get rid of him. And even after that terrible night and getting locked up again, I still didn't change. I stayed clean of drugs sometimes, but not clean of the evil I carried inside me. Wherever it came from, however it started, I stayed bad to the core for a long time. The only thing that ever made me change was still years away. And it was all because of a woman, my number one woman to this day. Bro, you got a letter. When the big label said no, I put it on YouTube, and you, the people, said yes. That's how I got here. If you're enjoying this video, just know it's not made by a big company or sponsors telling us what to say. Hit that subscribe button so YouTube knows you liked it and so you don't miss the next one. It's free and it keeps us independent. All right, back to my story. In and out, over and over. Prison became my life. I met someone on the outside. I don't know if we were good for each other or just drinking the same poison that kept us walking the same road. Her name was Felicia. Prison became my second address, and music became my anchor.
Yeah, they call me the music man, locked down, but the rhymes still expand. Concrete walls can't hold the flow, listen close to the down, but the music can't be caged. They call me the music man, writing rhymes, arms on this page. Another day down, still stuck in this box, but the flow's uncut, breaking these locks. The pen is the key, the beat is my guide, listen close to the truth I got hidden inside.
In there, time is all you really have. I wrote one song a day, every single day, even when I didn't feel like it, even when the words hurt to write.
Yeah, they call me the music man, locked down, but I still got a plan. Flow so sick, these bars can't hold me. Spitting fire till they know the real story. From the block to the cell, you know the name well. Music man spitting fire, breaking out of this shell. Yeah, the beat goes on even behind these walls. Locked down, but the music can't be caged. They call me the music man, writing rhymes.
Said, hold up, Jelly, you got some bars, son. You could do something with that on the outside, you know? If you dream big enough. A delusional dreamer. Yeah, I like that name. Something I come back to later. I wasn't free, not on the outside and not in my head. I thought I'd die that way like so many others, stuck in the system for the rest of my life, or killed or gone from a drug overdose. Until one day, a letter showed up. And that letter changed everything. Prison time. It's a slow kind of death. Same walls, same faces, same voices echoing in the dark. You start to wonder if the world outside even remembers you. Then one morning, a letter came. The paper was worn, like it had been handled 100 times before it got to me. The words, man, they weren't fancy, they were real. They told me I had a daughter, a baby girl, Bayline. Now I had a reason, a real reason. Not just me chasing a selfish dream, it was all for her. Something changed inside me. I missed her first breath, but I wasn't going to miss anything else. I had to get out, stay out, and succeed. And the only thing I knew how to do, my only real skill besides drug dealing or robbing people, was music. No one was going to hire a convicted violent felon. I had to make music work for her. I picked up my pen that day and didn't stop. I wrote verses on scraps of toilet paper, on the backs of food wrappers, whatever I could find. The other guy started asking me to spit bars. We'd have little shows in the day room, just a beat from someone banging on a table and me trying to turn pain into poetry.
Yeah, they call me the music man, locked down, but I still got a plan. Flow so sick, these bars can't hold me. Spitting fire till they know the real story. From the block to the cell, you know the name well. Music man spitting fire, breaking out of this shell. Yeah, the beat goes on even behind these walls.
I thought I made it right there inside. Crazy, huh? Someone said my bars were good and I smiled all night thinking that's it. And in a way it was. Tiny wins, tiny steps lead me to my goal. Of course I had a long way to go. But that's the thing. You gotta be a little delusional to dream your way out of a cage. Now all I had to do was get out, resist the temptations waiting outside, and keep dreaming. Now, this is where the heart of the story begins, y'all. I finally had freedom, and now it was time to put my plan into action. When I walked out, the world felt huge. I didn't have money, I didn't have a car that worked half the time, but I had my rhymes, and I had this beat-up laptop that barely turned on. Most of all, I had determination, a crazy will and need to succeed to turn all this mess around. I still have my demons, of course. That little hairy guy made sure he was with me every day. Poor mental health, like so many of us, but I had no choice. I had to keep going. I'd record in my bedroom, blankets on the walls to stop the echo. I'd make CDs one by one and sell them out of my trunk. I'd stand outside gas stations or in the Walmart parking lot just trying to get somebody to listen. Heck, I even ended up performing at those gas stations anywhere anyone would listen. Hustle pays off. I don't care who you are, what industry you're in, or what your dream is. Let this be the one lesson you take from my story. Hard work pays off. I truly believe that. I'm a fat guy with a history of face tattoos. Believe me, I had obstacles, but I had a work ethic like no one else. No one could tell me I wasn't going to make it. My first paid gig, $200. I thought I was rich. Someone was actually paying me to do this. Slowly, bit by bit, month by month, I grew. I was doing 300 small shows a year at one point, living on greasy diner food, Waffle House, and sleeping in the van. Most of that money went straight into gas and broken down amps. Still, the stage and the thought of my daughter, that's what really kept me going. Looking back now, the next story I'm going to tell makes me laugh so much. At this point, I thought I was playing a Grand Ole Opry, which I do later. But right now, listen to this. I've been a full-time, card-carrying, delusional dreamer. I thought I'd made it years before I actually did. Every tiny win felt like a giant leap toward the big time, at least in my head. Looking back, I'm sure people thought I was crazy or just plain stupid. But that blind faith, that's what kept me going. I'll never forget this one festival I played in the early days, 5 stages. I was last fifth or 5 way in the back playing at noon while people were still parking their cars. I don't know, maybe 40 people were watching. But in my head, I was on the Grand Ole Opry stage, which again, I do later, which is crazy. I didn't care if there were 4,000 people or just 4. If you showed up, I gave you everything I had. Thing is, the crowd wasn't the only thing that was lacking. Every time I thought I was getting somewhere, the people in power, the ones who could actually open the door, slammed it shut. They all seemed to say the same thing. Unless I destroyed this whole thing myself, which I almost did. Look, I've listened to your stuff and you're just not what we're looking for right now. You mean too fat? Face tattoos? My past? Do you know what it feels like to face rejection every single day because of who you are or where you come from? I knocked on every door in the industry I could find. Most of them never even opened. And when they did, I heard the same things over and over. Too fat, wrong voice, wrong look, face tattoos. Forget it. They never looked past the cover to read the story inside. Lucky for me, well, lucky for future me and my family, I was still a delusional dreamer. To me, these were just mountains to climb, hurdles to jump. I'd beaten worse before. The problem was, at the same time, I was putting hurdles in my own way. I won't lie to you. I'm ashamed to say it, but I'll be honest. I was slipping. There's only so much rejection a person can take, and this was the only life I knew. Cocaine, codeine. It felt like the only way to quiet my mind. But the truth is, it was slowly killing me. Still, something felt different. Things were starting to line up. You know that feeling when you can sense you're close, real close? I didn't want to be the guy who quit, so I started going to AA. I'm not perfect. I still drink, I still smoke, and those demons, that little furry one is still with me more than I wish he was. But even in the darkness, there was hope. I knew I had to get clean, not just for me. My band depended on me, and soon 3 people were about to walk into my life and change everything. A woman, a man, and an 8-year-old little girl. Everyone has an angel watching over them. Call it God, call it fate, call it whatever you want, but these were mine. I'm lucky enough to have a few. I don't know why I've been given so many angels in my life. Maybe there's a bigger plan for me. Maybe my purpose is to share my message and give people hope, and these angels help make that a reality. Without them, none of you would know the name Jelly Roll, and you wouldn't be watching this movie right now. I had a friend, actually more like a brother, Jennings. We were cut from the same cloth, same scars, same hunger. He gave me a platform when nobody else would, especially by collaborating on the Wan and Willie series. We recorded together, hit the road, and took our music straight to the people. He'll say I helped him too, that I supported him, but I don't think he knows how much he helped me an anchor in this chaos, someone who understood. And of course, music. I remember it like this.
The monetization alone is crazy. You got to get your stuff on there.
Right, this was the moment. Put it out there, get seen, and the world couldn't ignore us. YouTube became our label. We didn't need an industry gatekeeper. When record labels wouldn't listen, the people still could. Struggle really drove that home for me. It would be YouTube and you, the people watching right now, that would change my life forever. But it wasn't just struggle. I met my now wife, Bunny. She took a chance on me when I was beyond beautifully broken. Remember my daughter's mother I talked about earlier? She was struggling with addiction too. I won't go into details, but at that time I was an ex-convict and drug addict without a permanent home, desperately trying to get custody of my daughter. I don't know why this angel helped me, but when I needed someone to save me, she was there. Everything was falling into place. I just needed this break, this next push to make it. And it didn't come from a big label or a producer like Struggle said. It came straight from you, from the people. Everything was about to change overnight. I was just coming out of the worst of my addiction. I was still playing dive bars, still grinding for scraps, hitting some bigger venues, but nothing worth writing home about, if I'm honest. Then one night, I woke up in the middle of a dream, and there was this melody in my head. This wasn't unusual. I wrote so much and lived and breathed music that I dreamed songs and melodies all the time. But this was different. I recorded the song in 2 hours. Most of that time was just debating whether Somebody Save Me should be the chorus or the opening verse. Funny enough, that's also something Eminem said he struggled with years later when he sampled the track. That still blows my mind. I'm just rolled from Antioch and Eminem is recording my song.
The mix is almost there, but we got to nail these vocals.
I agree.
This song didn't sound like anything I'd done before. It sounded honest. It sounded like me. This unknown moment, that song, it was my unexpected breakthrough. It was about to happen, and no one would have believed it. I woke up one morning like usual, grabbed my phone and checked it. Standard morning routine. I had a lot of messages, more than normal, but sometimes that happened. I didn't think much of it. I didn't even open them, but I could see some of the notifications had the word YouTube in them. So without reading them, I went straight to YouTube. That song, the one I wasn't sure about, the one that was completely different, Somebody Save Me, was blowing up. And that feeling is almost better than being told by a label, your album went platinum. I did this myself. Put it out there. And you, the people, were responding. But this song was so different from my usual stuff. I'd been a rapper my whole life, but I grew up in Nashville, the home of country music. Mama raised me on those old country records, and you can hear that in my voice. Even with a different beat, people responded. The song resonated when I spoke my truth. People felt it. It was like medicine. Full circle, those tracks were medicine for my mom. Now I was the medicine for other people. That dream, it was coming true. The numbers didn't lie. Views skyrocketing. People sharing, commenting. The music world couldn't ignore it. When the people speak, the labels listen. Suddenly, every label in America was calling. The same ones who said I was too fat, too tattooed, not the right fit, they were calling. And this time, I didn't have to beg for a meeting. The work had paid off. See, I told you hard work pays off, and being real to yourself matters. This was it. Like a weight lifted off my shoulders, I could finally breathe. I was clean from the hard stuff. My daughter was safe, and for the first time in a long time, I could really breathe. What happened next, the trajectory from this one song, you never know when or where the next big thing will hit. You just have to keep going. And what happened next? Truly incredible. What happened next, man? It went way beyond anything I ever dared to dream. Within a year, then 2, then 3, I went from a guy hustling just to keep the lights on to standing under bright lights with Grammy nominations. I was hosting late night shows, playing stadiums so big you couldn't even see the last row. Thousands of people all singing every word right back to me. Awards, accolades, moments where I stood on stage thinking, finally. But here's the thing, it wasn't a selfish climb. I wasn't chasing fame just for fame's sake. It was about sharing my pain in a song, singing about feeling helpless, about mental health, about needing help, being medicine for the people, letting them know you're not alone. Others are hurting too. I'm hurting too. That honesty, that connection, that's what made it happen. That's why we're here. I truly believe this win isn't just mine, it's ours. I might be the vessel, but I feel what you feel. We're in this together. I'm not going to lie. These past few years have been the best of my life. I went from sleeping in a van and in jail cells to performing all over the country. And my God, it feels incredible. But here's the thing, God has a way of balancing you, keeping you humble. No matter how many stages I played, no matter how much success came my way, there was still a problem I couldn't shake. No trophy, no sold out crowd, no headline could fix it. In fact, it's the very thing that got me here in the first place. The same struggle I still share with so many of you. Up until now, you've seen how hard work, grit, and being a delusional dreamer can take a man from rock bottom to living his dream. If I can do it, so can you. Just look at where I came from. But remember this, no man is an island. And for all the battles I fought and won, there was still one war I was losing. So let's talk about that, because if you think chasing a dream is hard, what I'm about to tell you is even harder. I'm not an addict anymore, but I'd be lying if I said I don't still wrestle with my own mind. For years I ate my feelings. I'd walk into a dressing room and my first move wasn't to check the set list. It was to hunt for the candy bowl. People think food is harmless, but it's an addiction just like anything else. And Lord knows I've collected my share of addictions in this life. Now, food feels like the last hurdle standing in my way. It's something I work on every day. If you follow my YouTube channel, you've seen the changes I've already made, the transformation I'm chasing. There's one moment I'll never forget. We were out on the road and found out we had access to a basketball court. I was over 300 pounds, struggling to move, to breathe, to keep up, but I played anyway. The next day I came back to try again, and my whole band and crew were already there waiting. They'd heard I was trying, that I wanted to get better, and they made it a thing. Now, every week on the road, we have our own little crew tournament. That's not just music. That's family. That's love. I told you I've got angels with me, and I keep finding more. Maybe if I can beat this last addiction, God will give me another mountain to climb. He works like that, always keeping you moving, and that's okay. Because if I'm living proof that you can overcome anything, and if me getting through my struggles helps even one other person get through theirs, then it's worth every fight. And as for what's next, well, that's the exciting part. I spent my life climbing one mountain after another. Some I chose, some I didn't. And every time I made it to the top, I look out and see another peak waiting for me. Now, I wake up in my own bed. When I'm home, I take my kids to school, come home to my wife, and still get to play music for the people who built me. I get to host shows, meet my heroes, and be part of something bigger than myself. But I'm not done. There's still more music to make, more stories to tell, more people to reach, starting with you. Because if I can go from a jail cell to the stage, you can go from where you are to where you're meant to be. And trust me, the best part of my story hasn't even been written yet.